Hello and welcome to another scene for the Living World of Darkness, Changeling the Dreaming 20th Anniversary Edition venue, set in the Kingdom of Apples. And today's scene takes place in the county freehold of the County of New Hope. It's a busy afternoon, hustle and bustle of knights training and with renewed vigor now that they can rest and function. There's a certain buzz of excitement in the air, new threats, new goals, new life with the energy to actually face it. And for once, for in a long while, there's actually a lot of activity amongst the freehold. Uh, People cooking and prepping recipes, practicing things for the upcoming autumnal equinox festival, and just the feeling of change in the air. The county freehold is a fairly large uh, area with training grounds that circle around the back towards a garden um, with a labyrinth inside of it, a garden maze. The freehold itself, multi-storied with a long pathway that leads to the front entrance from the gates. This it would up immediately upon entering the freehold. There's the open ballroom area with a throne for ceremonial purposes during said ball. There is the spiral staircase made out of a tree that grows between the first and second floor, carved with beautiful etchings in the bark. And this is where we find Lyra.
Hi. Yeah, Lyra, for one reason or another, has escaped the apartment in Manhattan, has escaped her brother. Um, mm, Maybe escaped is not the right word. She is, after all, free to go as she pleases, but it feels like escaping today. It feels like she is more free than she was before. Perhaps it is the fact that for the first time since forever, to quote Disney, I just realized, um, it, she she's able to sleep without nightmares. It's not something that she's almost grown accustomed to having these nightmares in this place, and all of a sudden this gray world seems a little less gray, which is reason for joy, especially in Lyra's mind. So she has wandered into this particular freehold and is looking around almost as giddy as a child at Boxing Day, looking at the presents, wanting to unwrap them all. This is how she's looking at basically everything, um, with like a almost out loud laughing as she is greeted with all this hustle and bustle of the freehold, of people training, of armor shining, of the smells of cooking. She never, at least to her knowledge, has never been this close to real life, always having watched it from afar. And now that she's here, she's almost like Rapunzel putting her feet on the grass outside of her tower for the first time. She's looking around, practically dancing around, going over from the training grounds to this beautiful tree, this almost staircase like tree, just placing her hand on the bark of this particular friendly giant, staring up above to see if there's like any green leaves still there or whether they've all started to color slowly yellow and brown because fall is coming. Um, so yeah, she's going around like that.
Leaves are beginning their slow color change, preparing for the fall. They're still mostly green. It's still the beginning of autumn. Well, yet to be the beginning of autumn, but perhaps a little more sparse than they would have been in full glory of spring or the very beginning of summer. Um, the hustle and bustle continues around her, generally not paying, not lingering too long, not because she isn't remarkable to behold, but because to stare is rude, and in a place like the freehold, people are concerned with etiquette, proper form, and so they acknowledge her and do their best not to stare, overcorrecting perhaps, and trying their best not to meet her eyeline directly. This appearance seven surreal creature running her fingers along the carvings of this staircase. One person, however, does not avert their eyes because they do not behold what stands in front of him as a figure with dark olive skin sort of makes his way along the pathway beneath the veranda and is heading in the direction of Lyra.
Mm. Lara is paying attention to everything and nothing at the same time. She is, she's actually smiling very friendly at everyone who is like nodding their heads at her, making small curtsies as she goes. But at the same time, from time to time, she's oddly distracted by the sky, by this bark that is so interestingly formed. She's, yeah, following it with her fingers, going up, going down, and going up again. Doesn't really seem to notice anything really. It's like she's literally in her own bubble of happiness, despite the fact that everything is going on around her.
And as she's distracted, the gentle bump of shoulders, a pause. I apologize. I didn't realize you were there.
And Lara will look surprised at first because this is the first time someone made contact with her. Almost seems to kind of snap her into a layer of reality that she kind of hadn't landed in today yet. Um, so she um, twists around, facing this gentleman, looking him into the eyes and noticing the well, lack of vision there. Um, she covers her mouth with one of her hands, um, and takes a step back, curtsies, despite the fact that he can't see her do that, and then apologizes profoundly. I apologize, sir. I'm terribly sorry. I was lost in thought. Can you
Mm.
forgive me?
He nods and extends a hand, not directly towards her, just straight out in front of him. Who do I have the acquaintance of meeting?
Oh, right. She'll kind of touch his fingers with hers.
Mhm.
Um, Lyra, Noel. Um, um,
And he nods and gives a polite sort of half bow. Mjijin Utrul. It is a pleasure to meet you, Lyra. Is there something that you're looking for?
I was wondering. I don't know. It was not really anything I came here for, other than to come here and to be here and to see see this place.
From what I understand, it's a lovely freehold.
Yes, it is. Um, it's beautiful now that everybody seems to be happy. I was here before, but everybody was more sad and more, well, less alive. There was no spark. You can now feel the spark. Everybody is active and running around and doing things, and I don't know what they're doing, but it looks all pretty impressive and it's new. I like new.
And he gives a very polite smile. Well, welcome to the County of New Hope.
That's what it feels like. New hope.
How long have you been here?
Um, Here, as in, oh, a few, is it weeks or seems longer, but it also seems shorter. I think it's a few weeks. Yes, 3 maybe 4 almost. I haven't counted. Should I have?
He shakes his head with a smile. No, that's not necessary. Eventually, it will be easier. He gives sort of a tilt of the head. So, Arcadian?
Yes.
Hmm.
I'm
Would you mind
sorry.
helping a poor blind man find his room? I seem to have gotten turned around in all the hustle and bustle.
Of course, I don't mind helping. Um, I just don't know where your room is.
It's up these stairs, and it should be a closed door with a silver knob.
Okay. And Lyra will take his hand.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's hard to keep her excitement to herself, but she's trying at least
Mm-hmm.
to kind of gracefully and slowly ascend the stairs and try and find this closed door, which she's actually trying to find by just pushing against all the doors until something does not open, and then she will look for the knob, see if it fits his description.
Yeah, he actually he knows where he is.
But
um,
she doesn't.
yeah, and so
No,
yeah,
he
he
knows.
yeah he'll open the door, and in there is his study. It's a dark room. There's like a single candle, but it isn't lit at the moment since nobody was in the room. You can see that there's various scrying materials about. There's mirrors, but instead of being made of silver, they're made of polished obsidian, crystals, orbs, candles. In the far corner, there's a silver box, contents unknown. There are two seats, one facing towards the door and another pushed up into the corner for visitors to grab if they need to take a seat and be comfortable. And Imjijin moves to his seat and turns his head in the direction of Lyra. So,
Who is staying on the doorstep
mhm.
and just looks around the room. They kind of gasp of excitement as she sees all that, but she's not entering.
And he sort of does that sigh to make yourself comfortable. And please come in, make yourself at home.
And with that, it's like she will definitely like take a few steps in, almost twirls around, and just for the sake of why the fuck not, because it's funny, she has found somewhere, probably at some sort of a secondhand clothing shop. I don't know if that's what you call it. Um, like second use clothing shop. She's
Mm-hmm.
found like this skirt that has bells on it. So she's kind of twirling around, and all these tiny little bells are kind of clinging as she does, as she's looking around. Sir, if I don't mind, if you don't mind, I mean, because I don't mind, but you might. You have a awesome room.
He gives a smile. I'm glad you appreciate my collection.
It's beautiful and strange, which makes it even more beautiful, mystical. Do you
Nay,
like it?
I do. I find that this helps with the job.
She cocks her head. Job? You make mirrors?
No, no. I would be terrible at making mirrors. I wouldn't even know if they are polished correctly.
Yeah.
No, I'm the court seer.
Oh. Oh, I've heard of you. Oh, I mean, uh, I've heard of your position, sir. Um, what does a courtier does do? Like, and she's trying very hard to keep etiquette, but she's so excited that she's kind of
Mm,
stumbling over her own words.
mm.
She fits the character and is a great apology for my poor English at the moment.
And he gestures in the direction of where the chair is. Please have a seat, and I'll try to explain without boring you.
Okay. She
And
will goes to sit down. Does the entire crossing of the legs, arms or hands on her in her lap until she realizes you can't see. She's just gonna make herself comfortable and pull up her legs.
mhm. And he allows her to get comfortable before he begins speaking. So, as the court seer, I cast a line out into the sea of dawn, destiny. I look to see what problems may be coming in our blind spot. And
Mm, sorry.
he just gives a nod. Sometimes members of the nobility come to me to look ahead in instances of relationships and lineage. Will they ascend to this throne? And I decide whether or not I should tell them this path. Others come to me with the pursuit of a destiny, and then I must see which path would lead to that destiny, that ending that they want. And throughout it all, I must also decide when I must keep quiet. Knowing the future is important, but so is knowing when not to tell it.
That sounds like the hardest part. So, are there fish in the Sea of Dawn?
All of us.
We're fishing. We're fishes. Are we fishing or are we fishes? 'Cause you said you cast a line. How can a fish cast a line? They don't have hands. Could they have?
I think perhaps you are digging a little deeply into this metaphor.
Sorry. I just like the idea of fish with hands.
A terrible image. And he gives kind of a smirk as he shakes his head. Dawn is a sea. Sometimes it is rough, sometimes it is calm, but it is always the same sea. And we are the things within. As a seer, I may remove myself from that insider's viewpoint for a moment,
Like you're on an air mattress.
or a boat perhaps.
Or a boat. Air mattress
Continue,
is softer than a boat.
but less seaworthy.
Yeah, but it rocks funny.
Hmm. I'm going to stick with boat.
What color is the boat?
um, he just sort of cocks his head. I I don't know.
Of course not. Sorry. I forgot. I apologize.
It
I apologize.
well, and he gives a like wave of his hands. This isn't because I'm blind. It's because it's a metaphorical boat.
Were
What
you
color
always
is a
blind?
metaphor?
Or is that a rude question?
What was that?
Were you always blind?
And he shakes his head. No,
Oh. Is there a way to make it better?
no. I long ago in lifetimes past, I made an agreement with Dawn to see the future, but not the world around me.
Does that mean to get better at seeing in the future you have to be blind?
This was my promise. Others do not have to follow the same path as me.
I don't think I ever made a promise. But I don't know. Maybe.
Hmm.
I did say something to Kararis, Sir Kararis, about his future, and then he ran away. Well, he didn't run away because she don't run away. We retreat. That's what my brother says.
In spite of whatever noble stories are passed amongst heads wearing crowns, I assure you, in the history of all things, there have been times where there was a she who ran away,
Maybe that was a bad she.
or simply one who felt fear.
Perhaps. But then it's called a tactical retreat.
Yes. Yes, perhaps. the uh, the PR spin. So you spoke to somebody about their future, Sir Cararis.
Yes.
Is this why he visited me the other day?
She shrugs. I don't know. Did he? Like,
And he gives a nod.
about what I said?
He gives another nod.
Oh. Was he angry?
More concerned, I believe.
Oh. Did I do something bad?
You revealed something to him that he was not considering. I don't think he's used to being taken by surprise.
Maybe it's good for him. Sometimes.
I think for somebody who believes that they create so much of their own destiny, the reminder that Dawn exists and intervenes at times is important.
The world is no longer fun without surprises. Boring that must be. I'll tell him I'm sorry, though. I didn't mean to surprise him.
He may ask you to clarify further.
How do I do that?
Look deeper.
I don't know how. I don't even really know why I did what I did, and then it happens, and now I think if I do that, then I can make that happen, but I don't have much memories from before, from Arcadia.
The mists can be as cruel as they are helpful. They hide us from others who would wish us harm, but unfortunately, they hide a great deal from ourselves.
Mm-hmm. So how do I go deeper then? Does that mean I have to dive in this sea of yours?
You are already within the sea. It's being able to bring yourself up to the boat.
Right. I would still like the air mattress though, but boat for now. Maybe a raft. That's a combination. Boat. Boat. Um,
You wish to learn to be a seer.
yes, I think. Yes. Can you? Can I?
I could use an apprentice. I certainly won't live forever.
Of course you will.
It is not the way here.
Oh. Oh well.
But I can teach you.
Oh. Wait, I guess I thank you. Um, can I do anything in return?
Be an attentive student. That should be sufficient. It won't be easy. You have to know quite a lot and have gone through quite a lot to do things that seem simple to those who do not understand the gift.
Okay. I can learn things. I'm good at learning. I think. I don't know. Hmm. I'm good with learning names, though.
Well, wait, was that an illusion of naming?
No, God,
Okay,
no.
I was like, dear Lord.
No, no,
um,
I don't have that. No,
yeah,
God.
um,
That would be terrible with this character.
what? You didn't want me to say new? No. He just sort of gives a confused like squint. You start by looking a short distance away, and then you learn to expand your field of vision.
So
But
you're
I can
standing
teach
in a
you these
field
things.
and you look at a tree and then you look at the rest of the field.
Yes.
Or are you going to look at the flowers of the field? Or is that the next step again?
I believe the next step would be realizing that there are smaller details further out and seeing the big, broad picture as well as all the small details contained within.
So you're looking at the bush and then you notice that there's a field around, and then you look at the field and you see that there's flowers there, and then you notice that there's hills in the background.
Yes. As well as
See?
all the bugs on the flowers, the
Oh,
pollen in the air, the temperature, the wind,
the sun?
always the sun.
I like the sun. The moon is pretty as well.
Do you have a hard time focusing on
No?
any?
Out of character, yes? Sorry.
No, it's fine. Perhaps that can be part of your training. Just a sort of learning how to slow down and focus on anything.
Or on
For
everything.
perhaps with you, it may be best to start with one thing at a time.
Oh, okay. I can do that. I can focus on one thing very, very, very good. Well, very well. See, I focused on that sentence. She looks extremely proud.
He
Not that you can
cannot
see it.
see. Yeah.
And she's just looking extremely proud. Then there's the puzzled look, and she said, I just looked extremely proud of myself. Just so you know.
He's.
They say I'm very pretty.
I'm sure that you are. He just seems a little flustered by the abrupt subject change once again. And he just sort of like puts his hands up for that, like, wait a moment sort of thing. And he sort of pats around his assortment of mirrors and crystals and other scrying things. And he opens a drawer, and from it, he retrieves a small mirror with like um, a silver frame about it. The mirror itself is black, and it, it's roughly the size of like a silver dollar. It's not a large mirror. She wouldn't be able to see her entire face in it. And he holds it out. Practice with this. It's small, so it will help you focus.
It's really small. I can see only one eye. It's a pretty eye.
But you're not looking at your eyes.
Oh,
It's to help you focus and look forward.
okay.
You can consider it your first lesson. Look forward, practice with this for about a week, and come back and tell me what you've seen and what you've learned.
Okay. Come back here, right?
Yes,
1 week. So that is
7 days.
yeah, I know. But it's Friday today?
Wednesday.
Wednesday. That always makes you think of wishes. Wednesday is wish day.
He looks confused again by this random subject change. Practice focusing.
Yes, sir. I shall. Thank you. Is,
He nods.
do I need to pay for lessons?
Just don't. No, you don't have to pay for the lessons.
Okay. They said they needed a seer in Brooklyn for the court.
There is no court in Brooklyn.
No, but they didn't have a court seer, which
They
makes
lo-
sense if they don't have a court. I have to ask them about that.
we may practice our skills amongst the public. But as you ascend, if you do intend to eventually serve as my successor, affiliation of a permanent nature only complicates things.
But you would train me to be your successor? Does that mean you're going to go away? I only just met you.
I don't. I, I should be around for long enough to train you at the very least.
And I hope training will go on forever and ever and ever. I like you.
I appreciate your enthusiasm. I mean, he gives a polite smile.
Right. I appreciate you and your willingness to teach me.
And I appreciate having an enthusiastic student. There are many who shy away from looking too deeply at what will be.
Well, there's muddy waters behind me, and there's a dark, deep ocean in front of me, but it's not muddy. So, if I want to see anything, most people see in the past clearly as they know the past. I don't, and every time I look back, it's just that muddy water again. In
Mm.
front of me, I can see. Behind me, I cannot.
Perhaps in time you will learn the skills to make the water still and visible again.
Perhaps. I will practice. I promise.
Good.
And I'll listen to you. I'll learn from you.
Very well. Are you hungry? I believe they're making lunch.
Oh, what kind of lunch? I did smell some amazing things downstairs.
You know, sometimes I like to be surprised. Why don't we go look?
Yes.
And I think that's a nice place to end the scene.
Hmm.
So thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching, and we'll see you next time.